Welcome back to CIT 157, Module 3-2. In this module, you will practice box model, dive, span, and pseudo classes. Chapter 9 and Chapter 10 will be covered. Download the proper files and extract them, then move them if needed for activities. In this activity, I will talk about box model. For the activity, update launch.css and link it to launch.html. This is the result of updating. Add a class guarantee in launch.html and update launch.css for guarantee. When you format some content explicitly, there are margins, padding, border, and content area. Margin clears an area around the border. The margin does not have a background color. It is completely transparent. A border goes around the padding and content. The border is inherited from the color property of the box. Padding clears an area around the content. The padding is affected by the background color of the box. Content area is where text and images appear. In this activity, you will apply box model. Have some border properties. These are more properties of border style. I wanted to play with the border width, border color, and border size. Add background color for content. Set padding with 25 pixels. It will give you all around padding area. Then set padding left as 80 pixels. All around margin is 30 pixels. Then only right side margin is 250 pixels. This image shows how padding and margin are applied. In the content area, you can add a background image. You can set repeat and position. Play these settings and see how they affect. This is the result of a change so far. ID is almost the same concept of class. The difference is ID should be unique. When you use ID, you have to use fountain sign. If you change class to ID from HTML, you have to change correspondent CSS files together. I have mentioned before, you can connect several CSS files to one HTML. In this step, you will add a multiple link in one HTML. For different devices, you may want to change the format to fit the device. For example, mobile devices may fit for less resolution format. When people want to print the web page, you may change the format to fit printer paper. So you may prepare several formats for different purposes of the same HTML content. In this activity, I will talk about div and span. You can use div to divide the logical section to group several elements together. Then you can format the group together. In practice, you will add a div tag with ID. To do that, wrap the logical section with the div tags in HTML. Then format the group together in CSS. All elements inside the div ID elixir section from HTML will be treated together and be formatted as elixir selector formats in CSS. Float right makes elixir's group to float right side. When you use borders, padding, margin, background, you can use full description or shorthand. There are some examples for shorthand. Each color line is one of the possible shorthand. This is another type for footer. Span element gives you a way logically to separate inline content. In the same way, div allows you to create logical separation from block level content. I compared the div versus span. In this activity, you will practice pseudo classes. Pseudo class usually means something that looks like the real thing but isn't. CSS class is a grouping you create to place elements in so you can style them together. Put pseudo and class together and you have a pseudo class. It acts like a class but it isn't a real class. In the HTML file, you do not see the class visited or link or hover. Yet a link, a visited, and even a hover all allow you to specify style just like they were classes. So those are pseudo classes. In other words, you can style pseudo classes, but no one ever types them into their HTML. The browser goes through and adds all your anchor elements to the right pseudo classes. If a link has been visited, it goes into the visited pseudo class. Is the user hovering over a link, then the browser throws it in the hover pseudo class. There is one more design issue in Lounge HTML. Float right for elixirs does not fit well. To fix the issue, move a whole div ID elixirs section to the beginning of the body. Then it will fix the design issue. By the way, I will talk more about this in next lecture. Submit internet URL to class activity 3-2. This is the end of module 3-2. In this module, you have practiced the box model, div, span, and pseudo classes. See you on next lecture.